Welcome to the 2024 Girls Lacrosse Online Rules module. My name is Jason Nickleby. I'm an Assistant Director with the League and the Director of the Officiating Program. I will be narrating the first and last portions of this module. We will now cover the general girls lacrosse information before reviewing the rules changes for 2024. We will then cover the points of emphasis for this year, both nationally and in Minnesota, as well as a few rules reminders and mechanics items before concluding this module.
Prior to the start of a contest, the host school is responsible for determining whether or not the conditions present a threat to the safety of participants and spectators, and will determine whether or not the contest will begin. Once the contest begins, the officials have the authority to postpone or suspend a contest due to unsafe weather conditions. That decision may not be overruled. School officials also still have this authority. On-site medical professionals should also be consulted and included in the decision-making process. The superintendent or his or her designee may overrule an official and suspend or postpone a contest once it has begun. In other words, once a contest has begun, either the officials or school authorities may overrule an official and suspend or postpone a contest once it has begun. While lightning on the horizon should warn of potential danger, lightning associated with thunder or thunder alone means that there is immediate danger to the athletes, officials, and spectators. The adage, "If you hear it, clear it," should be used to make decisions to postpone or cancel the activity. When considering resumption of an athletic activity, the league recommends that everyone should wait at least 30 minutes after the last flash of lightning or sound of thunder before returning to the field or activity. After the game has been temporarily postponed, officials and coaches should communicate about next steps. Officials, please understand that you're working an outdoor sport and you may have games that will have delays. We should not look to cancel the game at the first opportunity. Conversely, coaches, officials should not be expected to stay around the site for several hours just in case you might be able to get the game in. A final reminder, when we see more lightning or hear more thunder, the 30-minute clock starts over. And no app on a phone can tell you that the 30 minutes should be shortened. That entire 30-minute period must be followed. As a reminder, if a coach, parent, or other concerned party has an eligibility question such as chemical or behavior issues, should direct those questions to the activities director. Even if a lacrosse player is ineligible, the officials are not to rule on such matters, and all inquiries should be directed to the activities director of the school involved. Coaches should speak with their activities director or consult the bylaws for girls lacrosse in the official league handbook or go to the girls lacrosse activity page on the high school league website. Please pay special attention to the policy for playing out-of-state teams in scrimmages or games.
Hi, I'm Tim Likes, State Coordinator for MSHSL Girls Lacrosse. Welcome to the 2024 season. We will now discuss rule changes for the 2024 high school season. Video clips will be presented on the rule changes, then we'll dive deeper into each rule change on separate PowerPoint slides. Rule 2-4-5 refers to cross-inspection stick checks. This is a rule change. Stick checks may be requested during any stoppage of the game clock, including immediately following goals in regulation and overtime periods. The stick check request must be made before the official's hands are in contact with both center sticks for the draw. The rationale for this rule change is to provide clarity to when the cutoff is for a stick check without interrupting the draw process. Rule 2-6-1 refers to goalkeeper equipment. The goalkeeper must wear shorts or pants manufactured with integrated protective padding. Rationale for this rule change, it clarifies the requirements of thigh padding for the protection of goalkeepers. Rule 2-7-1, tooth and mouth protectors. The tooth and mouth protector rules were reorganized to align with other NFHS sports requiring the use of tooth and mouth protectors. Restrictions related to color and graphics are now eliminated. It is still required that field players wear mouth protectors without protruding tabs and wear them in the correct manner. Rationale for this rule change is to create consistency and follows NFHS Sports Medicine Advisory Committee's recommendation for tooth and mouth protector guidelines. Compression shirts are now part of personal equipment and may be worn by field players. These compression shirts must meet the NOCSE ND 200 lacrosse standard at the time of manufacture. These compression shirts also are not required to meet the color restrictions of visible undergarments. The rationale for this rule change is to allow field players to wear protective padding intended to prevent commotion cordis. Rule 2-9-4E, uniforms with identifying names. Starting January 1st of 2027, only school-related or player identifying names will be allowed above the number on the team jersey. School-related names include nickname, logo, and mascot. The rationale for this rule change is it creates consistency in the uniform rules among NFHS sports. Jerseys shall be of contrasting colors for opposing teams. The following jersey requirements apply. The school's name, nickname, logo, mascot, and or team member's name are permitted above the number on the front and or back of the jersey. Rationale for this rule changes, it clarifies what identifying references can be used on the jersey and where it can be located, aligning with other NFHS rules code. Rule 4-1-1, duration of play. The maximum regulation playing time is now 48 minutes, divided into 4 12-minute quarters. Between the quarters, teams will be given 2 minutes. Halftime will remain at 10 minutes unless agreed upon by the coaches prior to the start of the game for a shorter halftime. Players must change ends before each quarter. Rationale for this rule change allows coaches to provide instruction more frequently. Rule 4-2-2 exception to officials' timeouts. Added this year to the rule, when a 10-goal rule is in effect, no official timeout should be called for an offsides foul, an inadvertent whistle, or alternative possession. In addition to a redraw, or when there's a foul in the critical scoring area in the last 2 minutes of the second and fourth quarter. The rationale for this rule change is to allow the clock to continuously run. Rule 4-2-3, unofficial timeouts. During an injury timeout, coaches may provide instruction to their players. The rationale for this rule change is to allow the coaches to adjust their players during an injury timeout and eliminates the need for officials to monitor coach or player interactions for potential coaching during this time. Rule 5-4-1, restarting play self-start. New this year, for a foul called outside the critical scoring area, the player who is awarded the free position no longer needs to come to a stop or settled stance and may continue running down the field. However, if a foul is called that requires a card, timeout is given, the card is issued, and play is started with a whistle. The rationale for this rule change is to allow for the flow of play and reduces a potential advantage created when the defense has time to set up while the attack player must stop for the free position. Rule 5-4-5 and Rule 10-1J, restarting play false starts. New this year, it is no longer a false start penalty. If a player self-starts outside the critical scoring area when it's not an option, officials will now reset play. Officials are encouraged to communicate to the players that a self-start is not an option and a whistle will be used to start play. The rationale for this rule change is it eliminates the assessment of a major foul for self-starting outside the critical scoring area when it is not an option. Remember, when a false start happens within the CSA, it must be penalized for a false start. Rule 10-1Y, major fouls. 3-second penalties. New this year, a free position will be awarded to the closest dot for a 3-second violation when the spot of the ball is outside the critical scoring area and below the goal line extended. Rationale for this rule change is it adds clarity and consistency to the rules for 3-second violations. The next few slides will address editorial changes to the rule book. Editorial change to the Unified Boys-Girls Field Diagram. Diagram 4. The penalty and sub-area shall be shortened from 20 yards to 10 yards. This is to match the current distance on both the girls' and boys' field diagrams. Editorial change Rule 2-9-3 uniforms. This just clarifies that the uniform number must clearly contrast with the body color of the jersey, regardless of trim. Other editorial changes, Rule 1-1-4B, restraining line. The restraining line shall be located 30 yards upfield from each goal line on a standard field and 25 yards upfield from each goal line on a unified boys-girls field. The restraining line shall extend the width of the field. This restraining line must be clearly distinguishable as a restraining line. For example, it may be the only line on the field, or marked in a different color, or marked with X's. Cones shall not be used for this purpose. Rule 2-8-1 allows for electrical equipment to be used for individuals connected with the team. These individuals must be present on the team's sideline or coach's area. Other editorial changes continued. Rule 2-9-4D, NFHS affiliated schools has been removed from the rule. Rule 4-4-1 and Rule 4-4-2, a game is now considered legal and complete when 75% of the game has been completed. Rule 5-4-2, if the attack causes a foul in the critical scoring area, the offender is not required to go 4 meters behind the player taking the free position. The defensive player may self-start. Rule 7-3-1, penalties 3B. B has been added to the rule that the goalie or deputy may self-start when a goal circle violation has been caused by the attack. Rule 10-1, penalties 12B. The language no closer than 8 meters to the goal circle has been removed. The next few slides we will discuss the points of emphasis by the NFHS. Points of emphasis. Number 1, stick to body contact. Legal and safe use of the crosse is essential for minimizing the risk. Legal defensive stick positioning is the stick held vertical with the head of the stick above 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock position, not 9 and 3 o'clock positions. The illegal stick to body contact occurs when a defender contacts an opponent's body with a stick held in the horizontal position, regardless of who initiated the contact. Players must not initiate the legal to stick body contact by using the stick to hit, push, or displace an opponent. Officials must recognize it, call and penalize the illegal stick to body contact as required by the rules. If necessary, card it. Failure to enforce the rules may result in unsafe play and the increased potential for injuries. With proper coaching, appropriate play, and diligent officiating regarding legal use of the stick will minimize risk and maintain the integrity of the game. Points of emphasis number 2, dangerous play in the 8-meter arc. There's a high potential for dangerous play and injuries within the 8-meter arc. There are usually large numbers of players in there. The speed of the players cutting in and out of the 8-meter and aggressive actions can be taken by attack players and or defenders. And also, shots are being taken. There are many moving parts within the 8-meter arc. Players can play safely in this area by maintaining control of their sticks and body, avoiding illegal stick-to-body contact, shooting safely, and not pushing opponents. Officials should watch for off-ball falls. Not all 3 officials shall be following the ball around the 8-meter arc. Things happen off-ball. We need to catch them. If we don't, it can escalate the play and other things will start to happen to cause the game to become unsafe. Officials must hustle to get to the proper position. The lead official must focus on the ball carrier and their defender. Officials, in your pregame meeting in the locker room or on the sideline with each other, discuss 8-meter arc play. What everyone's role is while the ball is in there. Points of emphasis continued on dangerous play in the 8-meter arc. Officials must continue to keep a watch for dangerous follow-throughs, dangerous propelling, and dangerous shots. Remember, dangerous follow-throughs not only occur on shots taken, but also on passes. The next few slides will discuss the Minnesota points of emphasis. Minnesota points of emphasis are illegal stick-to-body contact and carding. Minnesota point of emphasis, number 1, illegal stick-to-body contact. Too many girl lacrosse players are getting hurt by the use of horizontal sticks. They are being used on the ribs, the backs, the shoulders, and oftentimes these players fall to the ground. If necessary, card it. We are asking coaches to teach safe use of the cross in defensive plays. 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock stick head positioning, not 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positioning. We're asking referees to call more illegal stick-to-body contact fouls when they occur and to clean this up early in the game. Minnesota point of emphasis on illegal stick-to-body contact continued. Remember, stick-to-body contact is a major foul and must be called. The next slide will demonstrate legal stick positioning.
Every player plays defense at some point during the game, so regardless of their position, it's important for all players to learn the proper defensive stance. It's important to make sure your knees are bent and your back's up nice and straight. You want to have your stick pointing up and between 10 and 2 o'clock. Once you initiate the contact with an attacker, you want to make sure those arms stay locked. The second you bring them in and then bring them back out, that's going to be a foul and it's going to cause a turnover and be the other team's ball. Having the proper defensive stance is the foundation to becoming a great defender, and it's important for all players to learn and understand.
Minnesota points of emphasis, illegal stick-to-body contact continued. Watch the 3-minute video on the use of horizontal stick by the defense.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go walk. Yeah, maybe I'll just go walk. Yeah, maybe I'll just go walk.
I need to call Doug up.
Oh, okay. Let me see your phone.
I need to call Doug up.
Oh.
I need to call Doug up.
Oh, okay. Let me see your phone.
Minnesota points at emphasis number 2, carding. Physical play has increased as more players from Minnesota travel with their club teams across the country to play lacrosse. As we get more athletic girls lacrosse players, referees need to hustle to get to the open positions to see the rough play that leads to the mandatory cards listed below. Officials must card these actions. Officials must also remember that other rules in the rule book may also be carded if warranted. Referees should card early to clean up the rough play on the field. Minnesota points of emphasis number 2, continued carding. Watch the following video for continued emphasis on keeping it safe for everybody on the field by carding. Referees, remember, be very proactive in giving cards out early and do not let play get out of control.
Rough and dangerous play. Minimizing the risk of the student athlete is a priority of the USA Lacrosse Girls Lacrosse Rules Committee. With the introduction of free movement, the displacement of players due to rough and dangerous play needs to be effectively managed and eliminated. Disruptive actions jeopardize the safety of players, impedes the flow of the game, and negatively affects the integrity of the sport. Rough and dangerous play consists of forceful contact of players with the body or the cross, reckless, dangerous, or intimidating checks within playing distance of the opposing player, and any other action with the body or cross that an official deems unsafe. Managing dangerous and rough play in the midfield will consistently be a focus. This year, the Rules Committee intends to bring more attention to recognizing these fouls as they continue into the critical scoring area by encouraging officials to apply the appropriate rules and utilize the card administration discouraging rough and dangerous play from continuing. Consistent officiating of repetitive fouling decreases the risk of injury, improves game management, and upholds the integrity of the game.
Hi, this is Jason. I'm back once again to quickly cover a few administrative reminders before concluding this module.
The NFHS has a new way to access the rules books and case books electronically. This can be done on the All Access website, which can be found at allaccess.nfhs.org. This replaces the previous NFHS Rules app. Once you go to the All Access website and register and create an account, you can then download the app, which will be described on the next slide. Once you've registered on the All Access website, you should download the mobile app on the App Store or Google Play. Once you do that, you can purchase the rules book and case book electronically via the app, typically for $7. And then once you do that, you can access the rules book and case book electronically, and you can create highlights, you can keep notes on what you've searched, and you can mark up the electronic rules book and case books as well. Again, go to the All Access website, register and create your account, then download the app via the App Store or Google Play, and then you can purchase the rules book within the app.
The NFHS Learning Center is home to more than 90 online professional development courses for everyone within the interscholastic community. Coaches, students, officials, parents, and administrators can find a number of free courses, numbering over 60 out of 90 available. Go to nfhslearn.com to view trailers and learn more. As stated previously, there are a number of free courses available at nfhslearn.com. These free courses include sportsmanship, engaging with parents, sport nutrition, sudden cardiac arrest, and interscholastic officiating.
We would like to extend an enormous thank you to Julie Carlson for her incredible leadership with the Girls Lacrosse program since its inception. Julie has resigned her position as state coordinator and is moving on to other professional ventures. Julie has really guided the lacrosse program to greater heights, and we are grateful for her contributions. Thank you to Julie. In Julie's place, the league has hired Tim Likes as the new state coordinator for girls lacrosse. Tim is looking forward to working with all of you, and we are excited about his partnership as we move into the new season. Welcome to Tim. As we mentioned earlier, the new state coordinator for girls lacrosse is Tim Likes, who you heard from earlier. Coaches and officials are asked to contact Tim for any questions on rules, rule interpretations, officiating mechanics, or other questions regarding officiating. The email and phone number for Tim can be found on both the Arbiter Central Hub page and on the coach's dashboard.